Welcome to week 2 of our course on web portfolio design. I wanted to point out a couple announcements to you. We have this summer sizzle going on, and if you turn in your homework by the Saturday night at 11:59 p.m., you are entered into the drawing, the weekly drawing. So I submit your name if you get it done by 11:59. So be sure to do that each week. And then Christy has posted her hours. Here's a link to go to the Student Success Center. She's here Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. She can also be reached on Skype, phone, or email. Then also, I posted this. This is a general announcement if you have these other courses, or in this course, Dana would be available for any 200 plus level courses. Dana is online. At 2 p.m. on Friday, and this is her link. It's also her home phone number, or her cell phone, I believe. Some of these are cell phone numbers. Some aren't. I think that's a cell phone number. You can see that. Okay. So in week 2, we're going to focus on strengths and weaknesses. The discussion is going to surround itself around these 4 chapters here. Organizing your work, transferring physical media, the assignment will, repurposing and optimizing, creating written content. The discussion will focus on strengths and weaknesses. So here's the discussion question. In the second week, we focus on identifying our strengths and weaknesses as designers and selecting works that best showcase our talents as designers. In this discussion forum, I want you to describe your strengths and weaknesses as a designer and share 1 or 2 of your works that support your position. Explain your opinion in 150 words or more and use supporting evidence from references that pertain to your area of strength. So, and then post your reply and also comment on 2 other replies. Include APA formatted references to any web references that you use. Your grade will be based upon the following grading rubric. So here, 150 words, make sure you use a APA citation, and so on. So here, I wanted to point out, explain your opinion in 150 words and use supporting evidence from references that pertain to your area of strength. Okay. You're to discuss your strengths and weaknesses and share 1 or 2 of your works that support your position. Use supporting evidence from references that pertain to your area of strength. Now, what this means is you're going to give examples of both your strengths and weaknesses. In your explanation, I want you to use supporting evidence. In other words, use references and quotes and other articles, etc., to demonstrate how your work is consistent with that principle or the principles of design. So if you think and feel you're strong in logo design and perhaps the usage of color in logo design, that's the strength, then what you would do is give examples of your work, but then also to give quotations of how your strength, which is like color usage in logo design, is supported by other references. In other words, other designers or research, etc. So let me say that again. Give examples of both strengths and weaknesses and explain that. And then prove how your work is in line with the strengths, are in line with the areas of the principles of good graphic design that you then will reference in your discussion post. And when you reference those, make sure you cite them properly within the text, and then make sure you reference them properly down in the bottom in the references section using APA format. Now, if you don't know what APA format is, you can ask me or you can ask our learning coach, and we can show you how to do that. In my lecture last week, I think probably the first or second lecture, I explained to you and showed how to use Microsoft Word in doing your APA formatted references. The cool thing about Microsoft Word is that all you need to do is fill out a form and it will do the formatting of the reference completely. So that's a nice tool, and that's a good thing to know. So back to the discussion post. You can then use these references or one or more references to show that the principle that you are focused on, that is your strength, is in line with graphic design, number one. And then if you'd like, you can actually go further if you need to and explain how your weakness is not in line with the principles that you believe to be prevalent regarding that aspect of graphic arts. In other words, you may be weak in package design, and there might be certain principles surrounding package design regarding the content and the layout and so on that you don't feel that you yet are strong at. So anyways, that's the discussion this week, and I'm hoping that that's pretty clear on what to do. So far, Amanda has posted. Now, she mentions that she's posted 2 pieces of work, but then she talks about it being an animation. And so what concerns me is that potentially these were Flash animation files, like .swf files that she attempted to upload, and perhaps it didn't work properly. So I'm going to find out and get clarity on that with her. And then Roy here also has posted, and he's given some examples of his work. And so be sure to look at the principles of your strengths and attempt to support those using the quotes of other individuals. And I think that will be very helpful. Catherine has also posted here, and I've provided her some feedback. So I think she's giving both strengths and weaknesses, possibly. Weakness and strength, yeah. By the way, it's always nice to do your post in Microsoft Word. I like doing that, and then copying and pasting. Microsoft Word has some nice tools for helping in formatting. All right, so if you have any questions on that, please let me know. The deadline for getting the post on time would be Wednesday at midnight this week. Okay. Now, tomorrow I'll talk about the assignment for this week. Let's look at it really quickly. And here we're going to begin working on organizing the work that you have. All right. Let's make sure that the sample submissions are there. Here's a PDF file. This would be an example of what it would look like. All right. So we'll go over that a little more tomorrow. Oops. Now, the text for this week, on which is based the assessment, is chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so I'll go over those also in tomorrow's lecture. Actually, yeah, I'll have to double check my schedule because I may have to reschedule that lecture also. Be sure to go through some of these examples of websites and portfolios that are quite interesting to look at. All right, and if you have any more questions, please let me know. As for now, let's go ahead and begin working on our discussion for this week, and I'll reconnect with you again, and we'll go over that assignment. Thank you very much.